Motorsports, it's the ultimate test of human and machine, a symphony of speed, precision, and raw power. We cheer for the blistering overtakes, the photo finishes, and the champagne celebrations on the podium. But behind the glamour and glory, there's a stark reality that every driver, every team member, and every fan understands. This sport is dangerous. The pursuit of that extra tenth of a second, that one perfect lap, comes with immense risk. Today, we're going to take a respectful look back at some of the most heart-wrenching tragedies in racing history. These aren't just stories of crashes. They are stories of heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice for the sport they loved, and whose legacies have forever changed the world of motorsports for the better. Let's start with a name that is synonymous with greatness in Formula One: Ayrton Senna. To many, he wasn't just a driver, he was an artist, a philosopher behind the wheel. His raw talent, his aggressive driving style, and his profound charisma captured the hearts of millions. He was a three-time world champion, and his rivalry with Alain Prost is the stuff of legend. But on May 1st, 1994, the racing world fell silent. During the San Marino Grand Prix at the Imola circuit, Senna's Williams car inexplicably left the track at the high-speed Tamburello corner, striking the concrete wall at over 130 miles per hour. The crash was catastrophic. A piece of the car's suspension penetrated his helmet, causing fatal injuries. The world watched in disbelief. The loss of Senna was a seismic event, a moment that transcended the sport. It felt like the very soul of Formula One had been ripped out. The tragedy, however, led to a revolution in safety. Cockpits were strengthened, head and neck restraints became mandatory, and track designs were overhauled. Senna's death, as devastating as it was, ultimately saved countless lives in the years that followed. Just one day before Senna's fatal accident, the same dark weekend at Imola claimed another life. Austrian driver Roland Ratzenberger was competing in only his third Formula One race weekend. During Saturday's qualifying session, his front wing failed at high speed, sending his Simtek car into the wall at nearly 200 miles per hour. The impact was immense, and despite immediate medical attention, Ratzenberger succumbed to his injuries. His death was the first in a Formula One car in 12 years, and it sent a shockwave of grief through the paddock. Often overshadowed by the tragedy of the following day, Ratzenberger's death was a brutal reminder of the ever-present dangers of the sport. He was a driver who had fought incredibly hard just to reach the pinnacle of motorsport, and his dream was cut short in the most tragic way possible. The events of that weekend at Imola forced the entire sport to confront its safety standards in a way it never had before. Moving to the world of American open-wheel racing, we remember Greg Moore. The young Canadian was a shining star in the kart series, known for his incredible car control, his thrilling driving style, and his infectious, ever-present smile. He was the thrill from West Hill, and fans adored him. He had a bright future ahead, with a high-profile move to the powerhouse Penske team already signed for the following season. But during the final race of the 1999 season at the California Speedway, tragedy struck. On the 10th lap, Moore lost control of his car, sliding across the infield grass before hitting an access road, which sent his car airborne into a concrete wall at a devastating angle. The impact was horrific, and the 24-year-old was lost. The racing community was shattered. Moore wasn't just a competitor, he was a friend to everyone in the paddock. His loss left a massive void. In the wake of his accident, many ovals, including Fontana, paved over the infield grass areas to prevent similar incidents. A direct legacy of the young Canadian star, whose light went out far too soon. Now, let's talk about a name that defined NASCAR for a generation: Dale Earnhardt Sr., the Intimidator. With his black number 3 car, his signature mustache, and a driving style that was as aggressive as it was brilliant, Earnhardt was a larger-than-life figure. He was a 7-time champion, a titan of the sport who had millions of loyal fans. He was tough, fearless, and seemingly invincible. That's why his death on the final lap of the 2001 Daytona 500 was so profoundly shocking. While battling for position and protecting the lead for his son, Dale Jr., and his teammate, Michael Waltrip, Earnhardt's car made slight contact, sending it into the outside wall at a sharp angle. To the naked eye, it didn't look as violent as other crashes, but the impact was fatal. The news of his death sent a wave of grief not just through the sports world, but across all of America. The man who seemed indestructible was gone. His death became the single most important catalyst for safety improvements in NASCAR history. It fast-tracked the mandatory use of the hands device, led to the development of safer barriers, and completely redefined the sport's approach to driver protection. Earnhardt's final act, in a way, was his greatest legacy, ensuring future generations of drivers could race more safely. Venturing into the treacherous world of rally racing, we honor the memory of Colin McRae. The Scottish driver was a legend, a flamboyant, if in doubt, flat-out hero who brought the World Rally Championship to a massive global audience. His aggressive, on-the-edge style was breathtaking to watch. He became the youngest ever World Rally Champion in 1995, and his battles through the forests and mountains of the world were iconic. Unlike the other tragedies we've discussed, McRae's didn't happen during a competition. In 2007, he was piloting his personal helicopter near his home in Scotland. The helicopter crashed, and the accident claimed the lives of McRae, his 5-year-old son Johnny, and 2 family friends. The news was utterly heartbreaking. The rallying world lost its biggest star, a man who inspired a generation of drivers and fans, and a father and son were lost in an instant. McRae's legacy lives on not just in the WRC, but also through the hugely popular video game series that bears his name, introducing millions more to the sport he dominated. He remains a benchmark for raw talent and pure passion for driving. Finally, we return to Formula One to remember a driver whose story serves as a more recent and painful reminder of the sport's dangers. Jules Bianchi. The gifted young Frenchman was a member of the Ferrari Driver Academy and was seen as a future star. Racing for the small Marussia team in 2014, he consistently outperformed his car, showing immense promise. During the Japanese Grand Prix, held in typhoon-like wet conditions, another driver had spun off and a recovery vehicle was on the side of the track to retrieve the car. A few laps later, Bianchi lost control in the same spot. His car aquaplaned off the circuit and slid directly into the back of the heavy crane. The impact was devastating, causing a severe head injury. Bianchi fought for 9 months in a coma, but he never recovered, passing away in July 2015. He was the first driver to die from injuries sustained in a Formula One Grand Prix since Ayrton Senna. His death led directly to the implementation of the virtual safety car system, and most significantly, the Halo cockpit protection device, which has since been credited with saving several drivers from serious injury or worse. It's a bittersweet legacy for a brilliant talent taken far too soon. The stories of Ayrton Senna, Dale Earnhardt, Greg Moore, Jules Bianchi, and so many others are threads woven into the very fabric of motorsports. They are somber reminders of the ultimate price that can be paid in the pursuit of glory. But their legacies are not defined by their final moments. They are defined by the passion they brought, the inspiration they provided, and the crucial safety advancements that were born from their sacrifice. They pushed the limits, and in doing so, they pushed the sport to be better and safer for everyone who came after. We remember them not just as racers who were lost, but as heroes who changed the sport forever. Thank you for joining me in remembering these titans of motorsport. If you found this tribute meaningful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more stories from the world of racing. We'll see you next time.